Have you ever wondered why a man's ego swells the moment he senses your desire, why the more you reach, the less he gives? Jung would say it's not just his pride at work, it's your hidden desires feeding it. The wish to be chosen, to fix him, to calm your anxiety with his attention, to prove that you are the exception, these are the quiet drivers that hand him the mirror and ask him to admire himself. When you understand them, and practice abstinence from the behaviors that fuel them, you don't just balance the dynamic, you reclaim your inner authority. This is where individuation begins. You stop outsourcing your worth to a man's reaction and start building a steady relationship with yourself. Consider the desire to be chosen. When that desire is unexamined, you give him the role of judge and hold your breath for a verdict. Jung called this projection. You place your inner authority onto an outer figure, and he becomes the gatekeeper of your value. In that position, his ego naturally expands. He believes your peace depends on him, and he behaves accordingly. Your step here is simple and firm: reclaim your authority through abstinence from approval seeking. Tonight, write, where did I seek validation today? What feeling was I trying to avoid? Then practice the Stoic dichotomy of control for 5 minutes, name what is yours, your attention, your words, your time, and what is not, his moods, his choices, his timeline. For the next 7 days, abstain from any check-in text sent only to soothe anxiety. If it isn't a clear question or plan, don't send it. Next is the desire to fix or redeem him. Many women carry a trauma bond pattern that confuses intensity with intimacy. You see his potential, he sees your effort, and his ego learns that your labor will keep the connection alive. Jung would call this a shadow contract. The part of you that fears abandonment trades care for crumbs. Break the contract with 2 moves. First, create a red flag ledger, write 3 behaviors he repeats that drain you, and next to each, the cost to your sleep, focus, and self-respect. Read it every morning for a week. Second, try a 7-day abstinence trial from emotional caretaking. Do not explain, rescue, or rationalize for him. If he's late, he's late. If he's distant, he's distant. Practice the Stoic exercise premeditatio malorum. Visualize the likely outcome of continuing to fix him, then the outcome of not intervening. Choose the path that protects your dignity, not his comfort. There's also the desire to secure him through intimacy or 24/7 access. Some women offer constant availability, physical or digital, to calm uncertainty. His ego interprets that as status. She rearranges for me, so I can relax. Real bonding, however, requires tension and respect, not endless access. Adopt an abstinence protocol designed for clarity, not punishment. For the next 30 days, pause sexual escalation and late-night messaging. Tell yourself the truth: I am not withholding, I am evaluating. When the urge to break the boundary hits, use urge surfing for 2 minutes, notice the urge, rate it 1 to 10, breathe, and watch it crest and fall. If the urge stays above 7, employ the 72-hour pause rule before any step that deepens intimacy. In that window, ask, what value will I betray if I proceed? If the answer includes your sleep, schedule, or self-respect, hold the line. Another hidden desire is to avoid solitude at all costs. You scroll his pages, replay conversations, and keep the thread alive so you won't have to sit with the quiet. His ego thrives on this invisible labor. Your attention becomes a constant drip of affirmation. Replace the drip with structure. Perform an attention audit for 3 days, track how many times you check his profile, reread texts, or initiate contact without a clear purpose. Then set a dopamine schedule, no checking after 9 p.m. Respond during 2 planned windows only, and keep your phone out of reach during your first hour of the day. Each night, complete one self-sourcing act, exercise, skill practice, or deep reading, that raises your baseline of self-respect. The goal isn't punishment, it's nervous system repair. A regulated body chooses better than an anxious one. Finally, examine the desire to be the exception, the woman who changes him. Archetypally, this is the animus fantasy, the inner image of the masculine you haven't integrated gets projected onto a man who looks like promise. You supply the meaning, he supplies the mystery, his ego supplies the distance. To end the fantasy, map reality. Write 3 behaviors that would indicate genuine change without your prompting: consistent planning, repair after conflict, and proactive care. For the next 2 weeks, abstain from initiating these behaviors. Observe. If they don't appear, note the data instead of making another excuse. A Stoic reflection helps: if this were happening to my closest friend, what would I advise? Then take your own advice. Abstinence, in this context, is not moralism. It's psychological hygiene. You limit the behaviors that inflate his ego and deflate your self-respect, so you can see clearly. You practice small fasts from attention, access, and approval because each fast returns a piece of you to you. With every boundary held, the projection withdraws, the shadow loses leverage, and your center grows steadier. From that center, you will not chase, you will evaluate. From that center, you will not beg, you will state your standard. And from that center, if he rises, you'll see it. If he doesn't, you'll leave without burning yourself down to prove your worth. When a man senses that confusion keeps you attached, he learns to ration clarity. Intermittent attention becomes his instrument, your nervous system becomes the slot machine. Jung would call this a dance between your shadow's hunger for certainty and his persona's performance of scarcity. He withholds just enough to keep your desire working for him. Break this loop with structure. First, create a clarity rule: no future investment without a clear plan made at least 24 hours in advance. If he might see you, you will not prepare, wait, or dress for a maybe. Second, run a 7-day ambiguity fast. Do not respond to vague messages like, "What's up?" or "Maybe later." Replace every reply with a single clarifying question: "What day and time?" Then wait. Track outcomes in a journal. Your body will want to chase the high of uncertainty. Counter it with a 2-minute grounding: inhale for 4, exhale for 6, repeat 6 times, before you answer anything. Ego often feeds on jealousy. He posts hints, mentions other women, or goes silent after a public moment together. This external triangle inflates his value without him having to grow. Your task is to protect your attention from this manufactured scarcity. Use the jealousy drill. Write 3 columns: facts, your story, and evidence against your story. For 7 days, mute his social media and any mutuals who trigger you. When the urge to check returns, apply rein, recognize the urge, allow it to exist, investigate where you feel it, nurture with 1 sentence of reassurance: my value is not on that screen. If he directly tests you with comparisons, answer once, cleanly: I don't compete. If you want variety, choose it. If you want me, show it. Then step back and observe behavior for 2 weeks. Some women try to win by over-delivering: gifts, errands, constant support. Overfunctioning lets his ego relax while your energy carries the relationship. This is an imbalance of responsibility, not love. Run an effort parity audit. For 1 week, list what you give: planning, driving, initiating, emotional labor, and what he gives. If you're above 60%, step down to 50% for the next 2 weeks, match his effort, do not exceed it. When he texts, you respond at the next planned window. When he asks for favors, use if, then boundaries: if we have a plan on the calendar, then I'm available to help. If not, I'm focusing on my week. This isn't punishment, it is an experiment in equilibrium that exposes reality fast. Intensity is not compatibility. Chemistry can be a reenactment of old wounds. Trauma bonds feel urgent because they echo unresolved patterns. The ego reads urgency as importance. Test for compatibility with observable markers. Define 3 non-negotiables you can measure: proactive planning, he proposes specific times; repair after conflict, he apologizes and changes a behavior; and consistency, his words and actions align for 6 consecutive weeks. Use the 2-yes rule, you say yes only when your body and your calendar say yes. For 30 days, cap frequency at 2 in-person meetings per week. This pace lets your prefrontal cortex, not your adrenaline, evaluate him. After each date, journal, what did I learn about his values? How did I feel leaving? Decisions get simpler when data replaces drama. Avoiding confrontation keeps his ego comfortable and your needs invisible. Soft boundaries, hinting, joking, or hoping he reads your mind, teach him that your standards are negotiable. Replace softness with clarity. Practice a one-sentence boundary with consequence. I don't continue conversations where I'm interrupted, I'll call back when we can both listen, or, I don't host last minute, plans need 24 hours notice. Rehearse the sentence 3 times aloud, record it, and play it back until your voice sounds steady. Pair this with the Stoic evening review from Seneca. What did I do well? Where did I compromise myself? What will I do differently tomorrow? 5 minutes nightly builds the muscle that keeps promises to yourself. Projection of the animus can make an ordinary man look like destiny. You think you're drawn to him, in reality, you're drawn to the unlived qualities inside you, decisiveness, focus, mission, that you want him to carry. Withdraw the projection by integrating those qualities directly. Try a 10-minute animus dialogue each morning for 1 week. Write, if my inner masculine were leading today, how would he schedule, protect, and decide? Choose one action item and execute it before noon, send the proposal, book the class, block work time. As you embody the qualities you once outsourced, his ego stops feeling like a source and returns to being a choice. Control is seductive, influence is real. You cannot control whether he values you, but you can control whether you undervalue yourself. Adopt the Stoic view from above. For 2 minutes, imagine looking down on your life from a great height, you, him, your messages, your routines, all small within a wider map of work, friendships, health, growth. Ask, what does my wiser self recommend today? Then make one small alignment, sleep on time, complete your workout, finish your task, that serves your future regardless of his response. This resets the locus of control to your side of the court and shrinks his ego's importance to its true size. Habits solidify identity. Every time you hold a boundary, you tell your nervous system, we are safe with ourselves. Every time you abstain from feeding his ego with anxious attention, you train desire to respect you. Keep a virtue ledger for 14 days. Each night, score yourself 0 to 2 on 3 behaviors: honesty with self, clarity in communication, and consistency in standards. Do not chase perfection, chase the trend. Rising numbers mean your center is strengthening, and with it, the quality of man you'll tolerate and attract will change. Covert contracts are one of the fastest ways to inflate a man's ego without him lifting a finger. You give more, soften your schedule, overlook late replies, and secretly expect a return: loyalty, exclusivity, appreciation. When the return doesn't arrive, resentment grows and your leverage shrinks. End covert contracts by writing them down. Complete the sentence 5 times: when I do X, I secretly expect Y. Cross out Y, replace it with a standard you state clearly, or withdraw the behavior. Use a 24-hour pause before any extra effort to check whether you're acting from fear or self-respect. Silence can be a boundary or a weapon. When he withholds to control, your nervous system tries to buy relief with attention. Respond with a clean protocol. Send one clear message: I'm available for honest conversation. If you need time, say so. I'll step back until you're ready. Then step back for 7 days. Practice stop when triggered. Stop, take a breath, observe your urge, proceed with intention. Pair it with a 90-second body reset: stand, unclench your jaw, exhale longer than you inhale. You're training yourself to act, not react. Breadcrumbing keeps his ego full while you stay hungry. Sporadic compliments, last-minute invitations, and hot-cold patterns feel like proof that something is there. Treat it as data, not destiny. Define your minimum viable relationship for the next 30 days, a planned date at least 24 hours in advance, a consistent check-in pattern, and respectful follow-through. If these baseline behaviors are absent for 3 consecutive weeks, close the file. No speeches, no drama. Journal after each interaction. Did he meet the baseline today? What did I do that honored my standard? Let numbers, not hope, guide you. Status games are a quiet ego engine. He hints at other options, posts suggestive content, or brings up women who want him. This creates artificial competition that elevates him without growth. Remove the arena. Mute his social media and any accounts that provoke comparison for 2 weeks. Adopt the non-compete rule. I don't discuss other women in my relationships. If he raises it, say once, I don't participate in triangles. If you're uncertain, choose what's best for you. Then change the subject or end the call. Journal. What status need did that moment trigger? Belonging, visibility, exclusivity, and how can I meet it myself today? Over-explaining is a leak in your authority. The longer you justify your boundaries, the smaller they become. Use the one-ask rule. Make a single clear request, let's plan by Thursday for the weekend. If he deflects, you do not persuade, you conclude, no problem, let's skip this weekend. Practice the Stoic reserve clause for peace of mind. You will act with integrity and accept the outcome. Add memento mori lightly. If today were your last ordinary day, would you spend it trying to convince someone to treat you well? Let that answer set your next action. Fantasy is a potent drug. You imagine the version of him who will arrive once you are patient enough, intimate enough, helpful enough. His ego benefits, your reality stalls. Do a 7-day fantasy fast. When you catch yourself daydreaming about his change, redirect to a future self rehearsal. Write for 5 minutes about the life you're building regardless of him, work, health, friendships, learning. Follow with one concrete task that moves that life forward today. Use counter-conditioning when cravings hit, 30 bodyweight squats, a brisk 5-minute walk, or a cold rinse on your wrists for 20 seconds. Train your brain to pair craving with action that serves you. Sexual abstinence clarifies truth faster than any talk. If intimacy has been your primary bonding tool, step back to evaluate without the chemical overlay. For 30 days, pause sexual activity and late-night cuddles. Track 3 metrics daily: sleep quality, anxiety level, and desire to contact him. Note patterns. Create consent criteria for yourself that must be true before resuming intimacy: sober, planned, and aligned, meaning there is a shared vision, not just shared chemistry. After each date, complete a short debrief. What value did I honor? What boundary did I hold? What data did I gather? Your body's signals will become easier to read when they aren't drowned in adrenaline. Abandonment fear often hides beneath urgency. You rush to fix tension so you won't be left. That rush is the lever his ego pulls by default. Slow the moment down with the 2-door test. Door A, you chase relief now and pay with self-respect later. Door B, you tolerate discomfort now and collect clarity later. Choose B for 1 week. During conflict, replace rapid-fire texts with a scheduled call. Let's talk at 6 p.m. when we can focus. If he refuses, the refusal is information. End the day with a 3-line reflection. What did I fear? What did I choose? What did I learn? Rebuilding self-trust is the core of sovereign attraction. Keep promises to yourself that are small enough to win daily. Choose 3 micro-promises for the next 14 days, a morning hydration routine, a 20-minute focused work block, and a device-free last hour before sleep. Write an identity statement at the top of your journal. I am a woman who protects her time, speaks clearly, and chooses partners who show up. Read it every morning before messages. When you slip, recover in 1 step, not in a spiral. Note it, reset the promise, continue. Self-trust grows from repetition, not perfection, and men calibrated to ego will feel less magnetic as your calibration tightens. Fast escalation flatters the ego and blinds the evaluation. When attention comes in a rush, hourly texts, big declarations, sudden future talk, his ego feeds on your quick trust while your discernment goes offline. She believes momentum equals meaning, he enjoys the elevation without earning it. Slow the pace on purpose. Use a 72-hour delay before agreeing to exclusivity or travel plans. During that window, maintain your normal schedule and write a fact log. What did he actually do that required effort, coordination, and follow-through? Set a pace policy for yourself. No exclusivity discussions before 8 dates across 6 weeks, no sleepovers on back-to-back nights, and no meeting family until there's a calendar of consistent plans. The policy protects you from chemistry's distortion and keeps both of you honest. Reality distortion, gaslighting, can be subtle. He shrugs at your memory of a plan, says you're too sensitive, or reframes your boundary as drama. His ego prefers a world where your experience is negotiable. Resist with documentation and directness. Keep brief contemporaneous notes after key interactions, date, time, what was said, what was done. When a conflict arises, present your memory once, clearly. On Tuesday you said we'd talk at 7, we didn't. I'm asking for reliability. Then apply the 2-sentence rule, 1 sentence for the observation, 1 for the request. If he debates your feelings, decline the debate. I'm not negotiating my perception. I'm asking for a behavior change. Follow with the Stoic reserve clause, act with integrity, accept the outcome, and end the conversation if it circles. Retaliation after a boundary often reveals a fragile ego. He withdraws affection, delays replies, or hints that you're difficult. She starts to appease, he learns to punish. Refuse the training. Institute a no negotiation under pressure rule. If he goes cold after you state a standard, do not chase, start a 72-hour observation period. Ask yourself, is this a pattern or a blip? Use breath pacing when anxiety spikes, 4 in, 6 out, 6 rounds, and redirect attention to a task that serves your future self. If, after 72 hours, he returns without acknowledgement or repair, state the expectation once, when tension happens, I need engagement, not withdrawal. If it repeats twice more in a month, conclude the experiment. Stability is not created by walking on eggshells. Over-apologizing keeps you small and his ego large. You apologize for your tone, your timing, your needs. He accepts the power imbalance as natural. Replace reflex with an accountability algorithm. Step 1, name the actual miss if there is one, I raised my voice. Step 2, request repair on his miss, you interrupted, I'd like you to let me finish. Step 3, set a forward-looking plan, let's speak one at a time. Keep it short. If he uses your apology to avoid his responsibility, pause the conversation, I've owned my part. I'm asking you to own yours before we move on. This keeps the frame adult to adult. Money and time expose character. Some men let you carry the invisible costs, commutes, groceries, tickets, while enjoying the privileges. His ego receives, your resentment compounds. Establish transparent boundaries early. For the next 4 weeks, track spend and time costs you incur for the connection. If the split skews heavily to your side, reset, I'm happy to continue if effort and costs are shared. I'll host every second time, we alternate tickets. Abstain from loans, large favors, and professional help until there's a defined commitment. If he balks or shames you for asking, you learned what you needed to know at a low price. Testing for leadership is not about tradition, it's about reciprocity. A healthy masculine presence plans, communicates, and follows through. A swollen ego expects you to organize while he critiques. Run the 3-plan challenge. For the next month, stop initiating plans after your last proposal. Watch whether he creates 3 specific, calendar-worthy plans without prompting. If he does, acknowledge it simply, appreciate you planning. If he doesn't, accept the data. Your time requires stewardship, not spontaneity on demand. Ambiguity around commitment keeps you in negotiation mode and him in expansion mode. If conversations loop, "will see, not ready," labels are pressure, translate the loop into a decision. You can value the connection and still require structure. Try a clean ask, "I'm available for a relationship with clear effort, consistency, and mutual plans. Are you interested in building that with me in the next month?" Then stop selling. If he hedges, choose aligned detachment, reduce frequency, end sleepovers, and redirect your dating energy elsewhere. Write in your journal each night for a week, "What did I do today that honored my relational standard?" Progress is the point, not persuasion. Your circle influences your standards. Friends who normalize chaos keep you tethered to performance. Friends who model boundaries normalize calm. Audit your inputs for 7 days. Consume one piece of content daily on assertive communication or attachment regulation, and limit romantic fantasy media that rewards the fixer role. End each evening with Seneca's review: "What did I do well? Where did I fall short? What training do I need?" Then design tomorrow's micro-practice: one boundary sentence to speak, one check you won't perform, one plan you'll put on the calendar that has nothing to do with him. These repetitions are how identity hardens. When you act from a stable center, his ego has nothing to climb. Authority isn't loud, it's consistent. You will still feel attraction, but you won't feel compelled. You will still care, but you won't carry. From here, a man either meets you or he moves. Both outcomes protect your dignity. Fear of being too much shrinks your voice and expands his freedom. You anticipate his reactions, edit your needs, and turn warmth into performance. He enjoys the low-friction version of you. His ego concludes that your comfort is negotiable. Replace self-silencing with calibrated expression. Use the 1-minute boundary voice drill: stand, shoulders neutral, speak one need in 10 words or less, "I want weekday plans set by Thursday evening," then repeat it 3 times at a natural volume. Record and listen. If you hear apology language, cut it. Pair this with reparenting on paper for 7 nights. "If I weren't afraid of losing him, what would I say?" Write it once. Say it once. Let his response reveal fit. Attraction to emotional unavailability is rarely random. It's a repetition compulsion. The psyche tries to master an old wound by recreating it. He's unpredictable, you work harder. His ego inflates because your persistence certifies his value. Interrupt the pattern with a secure man test. For the next 4 weeks, evaluate only on 3 behaviors: initiates plans without prompting, repairs after missteps within 48 hours, and follows through for 6 consecutive weeks. If any one fails, reduce access instead of increasing persuasion. Add a somatic check: after each interaction, rate calm, clarity, and self-respect from 1 to 10. Low scores mean your attachment system is running the show. Stabilize first, decide later. Playing tests, delayed replies, staged jealousy, vague critiques, looks like strategy but functions as control. The shadow wants proof without vulnerability, so it sets traps. His ego notices the game and responds with more game. Trade testing for clean asks. When you want more consistency, say, "I'd like 2 planned dates a week." Is that something you want too? Then stop grading and look for behavior. Use the 24-hour regret rule: if a message is designed to provoke, store it in notes and revisit tomorrow. If you wouldn't be proud to have it read aloud, you don't send it. Rumination is ego fuel. Hours of mental replay keep him centered in your mind even when he isn't present. Your brain chases certainty, his ego receives attention. Defuse the loop with labeling. When the thought arrives, "He's pulling away, I'll lose him," say, "I'm having the thought that he's pulling away." This small phrase creates distance. Follow with a 5x5 grounding: name 5 objects you see, 5 sounds you hear, 5 sensations you feel. Then choose one friction task that returns you to your life: 10 emails, 30 minutes of study, or a workout. You are training attention as if it were a muscle, because it is. Public self-abandonment happens quietly, agreeing to last-minute plans in front of friends, laughing off a slight to keep the vibe, canceling your schedule to match his. His ego learns that social pressure works on you. Install exit cues and time checkouts. Exit cues are short phrases you practice. I'm heading out at 9, I'll think about it and text you tomorrow. Time checkouts happen at the top of the hour. You look at your calendar, ask, what did I promise myself today? And act accordingly. If you need permission to leave, give it to yourself in writing before you go out. I will leave any situation that undermines my standard. You're not dramatic, you're deliberate. Outsourcing judgment to an audience, friends' opinions, social media polls, feeds his ego by keeping him center stage. Validation crowds out discernment. Try a 30-day privacy blackout. No sharing details, no coded posts, no group debates. Replace the audience with a charter. Write a one-page relationship charter for yourself, how you handle plans, sex, money, conflict, and time. Read it every Sunday. If a situation isn't covered, add a line. This turns crises into policy and pulls you out of improv mode. Your life architecture must be stronger than any one connection. Without structure, abstinence feels like deprivation. With structure, it feels like freedom. Build a 3-block day: mission block, work, study, building, body block, movement, nutrition, sleep, and meaning block, friends, learning, service. Schedule them before you schedule him. Hold to the blocks for 14 days and watch your anxiety graph shrink. Add Marcus Aurelius's question each morning: what is mine to do today? Do that first. A centered day is magnetic. It attracts men who respect time because you model respect for time. Cognitive distortions twist data to fit desire. You catastrophize a slow reply or idealize a small effort. His ego thrives in distorted light. Conduct a daily distortion check for 2 weeks. When upset, answer 4 lines: what happened? What story did I make? What's another plausible story? What action serves me regardless of which story is true? This moves you from narrative to behavior, where progress lives. Anchor it with a more fatty in small doses. Accept the moment you're in and respond with your best standard, not your favorite fantasy. Deciding when to leave becomes simpler with pre-written criteria. Write 3 exit signals you'll honor: repeated dishonesty, contempt in conflict, or sustained inconsistency past 6 weeks. Commit in advance to 1 action per signal: reduce access, state the issue once, then step back for 14 days. If behavior doesn't change, close the chapter. To close, run a 21-day no-contact reset, remove reminders, return belongings through a third party, block channels if needed, and fill your calendar with mission, body, and meaning blocks. Each night, write 1 line you're proud of that had nothing to do with him. Pride crowds out longing. Abstinence is not about denying desire, it's about disciplining it so it serves you. You are not withholding to punish, you are pausing to perceive. As you practice, your baseline changes. You stop auditioning and start interviewing. You stop decoding mixed signals and start requiring clear ones. A man's ego cannot expand in the vacuum of your self-respect, it must meet you or move on. Either outcome frees you. Instant availability is a quiet ego fertilizer. When you reply in seconds, reshape your plans, and keep your phone face up just in case, you teach him that your time bends around him. He doesn't have to earn access, he just has to appear. Your fix is simple and trainable. Choose 2 daily response windows and stick to them for 14 days. Turn on, do not disturb, outside those windows. Before replying, look at your calendar and ask, what did I promise myself this hour? If the message would derail that promise, wait until the next window. Journal each night: when did I protect my time today? How did it feel after? You're not playing hard to get, you're becoming hard to derail. Backhanded jokes, subtle critiques, and style policing are ego elevators dressed as feedback. He scores status by lowering your confidence an inch at a time. Name the frame and set the rule. Say once, calmly, feedback is welcome when it's kind and specific. Teasing about my appearance or tastes doesn't work for me. If it happens again, end the moment, I'm stepping out, we can try again another time. Pair this with a daily self-alignment prompt for 1 week. What did I do today that made me like myself more? Liking yourself is the antidote to small cuts. Post-intimacy withdrawal confuses many women into pursuit. After closeness, he cools, you chase reassurance, his ego reads your pursuit as proof of value. Replace pursuit with a reset. Adopt a 48-hour non-pursuit rule after intimacy. No check-ins meant to regulate anxiety. Fill those hours with body care, routine, and sleep. If he initiates within that window with a plan, great. If not, schedule a conversation within a week. Closeness is important to me, and so is steady connection. Are you interested in building both? Your nervous system learns that closeness does not require self-abandonment. Unresolved ties, friendly exes, it's complicated, situationships, lingering flirts, keep you in a comparison loop that feeds his ego. Make your policy explicit. I date where there's clean space. If you're in contact with someone who still has romantic feelings or history that's not fully closed, I opt out until it is. Then step back and watch. Follow with a values check. What do I want my relationships to model for my future self or future children? Let the answer guide you. Clarity is not control, it's selection criteria. Alcohol and nightlife environments can blur standards and inflate charm. Many poor decisions are made after midnight under social pressure. Adopt 2 simple protections. First, sober consent only, no new commitments, no sexual decisions, and no conflict talks under the influence. Second, the 12-hour rule, no relationship-altering messages until you've slept. If tension spikes at 1 a.m., text, let's talk tomorrow at 4. In the morning, do a 3-line review. What happened? What matters? What's the action that aligns with my standard? Your mornings decide your life more than your nights. Sexual pressure disguised as compatibility testing flatters the ego and erodes your agency. He implies that a fast pace proves attraction or maturity. You replace self-consent with compliance. Write your consent criteria and keep them visible, planned, sober, and aligned. Aligned means there's a pattern of care, not a promise of change. Practice your no in 10 words, I'm not moving faster than my values. Say it once, without apology. If he respects it, attraction grows. If he argues, data collected. Surveillance masquerades as safety. Checking phones, scanning followers, and investigating likes attempts to manage uncertainty through control. It doesn't build trust, it builds obsession and performs devotion to his ego. Try a 14-day surveillance fast. When the urge hits, label it, I'm having the urge to check. Breathe for 1 minute, then redirect to a task that serves your life. End each night with a trust audit. What behavior increased trust today? What decreased it? What boundary did I hold? If trust remains low despite honest behavior, the relationship is wrong, not your discipline. Re-entry after a break often centers his comfort. He wants easy access without accountability. You can be open and still require structure. Set an observation window of 3 weeks with 3 behaviors you'll watch: consistent planning, prompt repair after conflict, and no triangles. Say it plainly, if those show up consistently, we continue. If not, we close this with respect. Keep notes. At the end, make a quiet decision. No speech needed, alignment speaks for itself. Criticism disguised as just being honest is different from mutual growth. Honest partners aim for repair, egocentric partners aim for rank. Test the aim. When he offers critique, ask, what outcome are you hoping for with this feedback? If he can name a shared improvement and is open to your feedback in return, continue. If he prefers scoring points to solving problems, reduce access. Supplement with a weekly Seneca review. Where did I act from principle? Where did I waver? What will I try differently next week? Your vulnerability needs gates, not walls. Oversharing early hands him the blueprint to press your buttons, overguarding blocks intimacy altogether. Use staged disclosure. Share one personal topic per week only after you've observed reliability in plans and respectful conversation. After you share, note his response. Curiosity, care, and confidentiality are green, jokes, dismissals, or later weaponization are red. Adjust access accordingly. Vulnerability becomes a privilege, not a strategy. Finally, adopt a simple interview framework for dating that decenters his ego and centers mutual fit. Before each date, write one question about values, one about conflict, and one about time. After each date, answer 3 reflections. Did I feel respected? Did I respect myself? Do our lives have room for each other? Your answers build a dataset. Choose from data, not from adrenaline. Abstinence from impulsive yes is what gives you sight. Ego often swells when conflict becomes theater instead of problem solving. He turns every disagreement into a stage for superiority, interrupting, scorekeeping, reframing your point as crazy, then offering a small peace offering that demands gratitude. Your job is to change the channel from theater to protocol. Use the repair or reset rule. In the moment, say once, let's slow down. One issue at a time. No interruptions. If he continues the show, end the scene, we're looping. I'm stepping away for an hour. After cooling, offer one concrete proposal. Next time, we'll take turns and summarize each other before responding. If he resists structure, note that refusal as data. Journal after each conflict. What was the issue? What behavior escalated it? What repair did each of us attempt? Patterns, not speeches, guide decisions. Small apologies that never change behavior are counterfeit currency his ego loves to spend. He says sorry quickly to reset access, then repeats the same pattern. Counterfeit apologies shrink your trust and expand his comfort. Install the apology to action filter. When he apologizes, ask for a specific amends. I accept the apology when it comes with a plan. What will you do differently next time? Track whether the plan appears twice in a row. If not, reduce access rather than increasing reminders. Pair this with a weekly integrity check for yourself. Where did I accept words without waiting for actions? What boundary will ensure I don't repeat that? Reactive testing, slamming doors, dramatic exits, punishing silence, feels powerful in the moment but feeds the very ego you want to stop rewarding. Switch to emotional sobriety. When you're flooded, announce your status. I want to continue, but I'm over my limit. I'll rejoin at 7. Set a timer, regulate your body, walk, cold water on wrists, stretch, and return with 2 bullet points, the behavior you observed and the change you're requesting. Close with a check. Can you agree to that? Emotional sobriety isn't absence of feeling, it's choosing timing and words that create change. Unresolved family of origin patterns are often the silent script. If your childhood meant pleasing a volatile parent, your adult self might still chase approval from volatility. His ego benefits, your nervous system confuses familiarity with safety. Map the script. Write 2 columns labeled, then, and now. Under, then, list the rules you learn to keep peace. Don't ask for help, work for love, stay quiet when they're angry. Under, now, rewrite each as an adult standard. I ask clearly and expect engagement. Love is given freely, not earned. We can pause and return when both are calm. For the next 2 weeks, pick one, now, standard per day and enact it once, even in a small way. That practice closes the gap between awareness and behavior. Communication channels become ego pipelines if they're open 24/7 and unfiltered. Late-night debates, voice notes during work hours, and social media subtweets create chaos he can surf to his advantage. Build a communication container. Propose 2 windows for heavier topics each week, and keep day-to-day messages short and neutral. If a topic is complex, request a call with a specific start and end time. After the call, send a one-sentence summary of agreements. If he resists containers, you've learned he prefers chaos to clarity. Your response is not to argue, it's to disengage from unstructured conflict. Mixed lifestyles are not moral failures, they're practical mismatches that inflate ego friction. If your week is early mornings and focus while his is late nights and spontaneity, you will either resent him or abandon yourself. Run a 2-week lifestyle compatibility test. Log your wake times, bedtimes, work blocks, and social hours, ask him to do the same. Overlay the logs. If overlap is thin and neither wishes to adjust, call it honestly, we like each other, but our lives don't meet. I'm not going to shapeshift. Abstinence from misfit keeps space for aligned fit. Complexes, emotional landmines Jung described, get triggered by tone, timing, or phrases that carry past pain. When a complex fires, you react to history, not the present, and his ego learns it can bait reactions. Build a complex map. For 1 week, note your top 3 triggers with precise cues: tone of dismissal, last-minute changes, public teasing. For each, write 1 pre-planned response and 1 exit line. Example: when plans shift last minute, I feel disregarded. If it happens, we'll reschedule instead of adjusting my evening. Rehearse these lines out loud. Predictable responses disarm bait. Scarcity language: there aren't many good men, I'm getting older, this might be my last chance, pressures you to accept inflated egos. Replace scarcity with selection. Write a "who I choose" paragraph that fits your values: consistent, self-accountable, growth-oriented, calm in conflict. Read it before dates and after heated moments. Then use a 30-day selection sprint, meet new people in low-pressure contexts, classes, clubs, volunteering, not just apps. Debrief after each interaction with 3 pragmatic questions: did I feel respected? Did I respect myself? Is there lifestyle alignment? Scarcity shrinks when options widen. Ambivalence is still a no. He might say you're special and behave like you're optional. His ego can enjoy your presence without offering partnership. Stop trying to decode ambivalence, require commitment behaviors. Define the minimum for the next month, plan dates, shared calendars, proactive repair, and explicit conversations about direction. If he remains vague, you don't need a villain speech, you need an aligned exit. Try this line once: I'm moving toward a committed relationship with clear effort. If that's not your path now, I'm stepping back. Then step back for real, no late-night exceptions, no "just this once" meetings. Fill that space with your mission, body, and meaning blocks, and let your nervous system taste stability. Your standard is not a negotiation, it's a filter. Each time you hold it, ego-driven dynamics lose oxygen. You're not trying to win against him, you're choosing for you. The outcomes become simple: he meets you here, or he moves in another direction. Either way, your life remains intact, your voice remains audible, and your time remains yours. Sustainable change is built on maintenance, not mood. After you set boundaries and practice abstinence from ego-feeding behaviors, the next challenge is relapse, slipping back into checking, over-explaining, or rapid replies. Expect some slips, plan for recovery. When you notice a lapse, use a 3-step reset: name it without drama, note the trigger that preceded it, and schedule a replacement action in the next hour. Then recommit to a 24-hour plan with 2 response windows, 1 act of self-respect, and 1 hour of mission work. This turns mistakes into data and keeps your identity intact. You're a woman who returns to herself quickly. Doubt will visit when your life gets quiet. Culture sells a script where a woman's worth is measured by being chosen, not by choosing. That script inflates egos and keeps you auditioning. Replace it with your charter. For 1 week, take a media sabbatical from content that glorifies chaos or romanticizes pain. Each morning, Read your one-page relationship charter and write a sentence that starts with, "Today I choose, to protect my time, to speak clearly, to evaluate behavior." At night, run Marcus Aurelius's simple review: what was within my control? Did I do it? What will I do tomorrow? Doubt fades when your day has direction. Loneliness can spike as you detach from inconsistent attention. Treat loneliness as a signal, not a sentence. Build a solitude practice that reduces anxiety rather than amplifies it. For 14 days, schedule a daily 15-minute quiet block without devices. Before the block, write one question: what do I need that I hoped he would give me? And answer it plainly. After the block, meet one need directly: call a friend, cook a nourishing meal, complete a workout, or study a skill. On weekends, design plans by Friday at noon that include people and pursuits that stabilize you. Structure turns emptiness into space. Sometimes you'll sabotage a healthy connection because it feels unfamiliar. When a steady man shows up, you might test him with distance, complexity, or critique. This isn't malice, it's a nervous system seeking the intensity it knows. Shift from testing to receiving. For 2 weeks, when he offers a plan, praise the clarity and accept if it aligns with your schedule. When you want change, make a single clean request and allow him the dignity of responding without a quiz. At day's end, write 3 lines: what I appreciated, what I asked for, what I observed. You are teaching your system that calm is not boring, it's safe. Integrate your animus, your inner decisiveness and direction, so you stop outsourcing it to men. Each morning, ask 2 questions: what is the one decision that would move my life forward today, and how will I protect the time to do it? Execute before noon. Pair this with Seneca's evening practice: where did I act from principle, where did I drift, and what small correction will I apply tomorrow? As your inner leadership strengthens, men stop feeling like providers of identity and return to being potential partners. Your boundaries will be tested by old patterns and new temptations. Prepare a conflict protocol you can use with anyone. In tense moments, slow the interaction with one sentence naming the behavior and the request: we're talking over each other, let's alternate. If escalation continues, exit briefly with a time stamp and return when both can think. Afterward, log the repair attempts on both sides. If repair is one-sided after multiple tries, reduce access. Protocols keep you adult even when others choose theater. Closure needs a ritual, not just a resolution. If you still carry a past entanglement, complete a closing practice within the next week. Write an unsent letter that thanks the lesson, states the boundary you'll honor going forward, and releases the role you once played. Return remaining items through a neutral method. Begin a 21-day no-contact reset with your calendar filled before feelings fill it. Each night, write one thing you're proud of that served your future rather than your past. Pride is a better glue than longing. Re-enter dating with your standards visible to you and invisible to your date. Before each meeting, read your charter and decide your maximum availability for the week. During the date, ask one values question, one conflict question, and one time question. After, answer 3 reflections: did I feel respected? Did I respect myself? Is there lifestyle alignment? And let the answers, not adrenaline, set the next step. Abstinence from impulsive yes preserves your sight and your schedule. Build a life that competes with no man for your attention. Keep the 3 daily blocks: mission, body, meaning, as non-negotiables. Review every Sunday: what energized me, what drained me, what will I change this week? This life architecture keeps you sovereign. From sovereignty, you don't chase pace, you set it. You don't plead for consistency, you require it. You don't debate your standards, you live them. Emotional freedom is not the absence of desire, it's the presence of choice. Abstinence from the behaviors that feed ego inflation, overgiving, instant availability, fantasy, surveillance, returns your attention to its rightful owner. Individuation is practical: you withdraw projections, integrate your inner masculine, honor your values, and let reality reveal the fit. A man who is capable will feel relief around your clarity, a man who lives on applause will feel starved. Either outcome protects your peace. Carry this sentence with you into every room: you are not here to be chosen at any cost, you are here to choose with a clear mind, a regulated body, and a steady standard. The woman who knows her worth doesn't chase, she chooses.